When you grew up, was your father around, was your mother around, or not really?
Next question.
Okay, that answers the question. We're here in Miami, Brickell, doing interviews in the streets. We're asking people amazing questions to inspire you guys, to inspire the youth. So support this channel, subscribe to the channel, like and comment. If you want some questions that you want us to ask in the streets, let us know. Let's go. So what made you want to be a state trooper?
Give back to the community, but also fight crime at the same time.
So let me ask you a question. Someone that's watching us right now, we see a lot of people that don't want to be cops anymore because of all the bullshit that's going on out there. What would you tell someone that wants to become a police officer, but they're scared because of all the nonsense out there?
First thing is you're gonna have thick skin, and going off that, you're gonna have to develop a way to interact with people and give a positive image to law enforcement, because there's a lot of people that interact with officers, and maybe the officer's having a bad day, and it's the only interaction they have throughout their whole life experience, and that's what they know. So when I engage with the public, make sure it's a positive experience, and that's how I could say, if you want to go in that law enforcement occupation, that you would have to go that route to make sure every interaction you have with the public is a positive one.
Do you think there's still a lot of crooked cops out there, or do you feel like it's a little bit less now?
I can only speak from my coworkers in my department. No, because everything nowadays is on video camera. Everyone has a cell phone, so everything you do, especially with us, we have video cameras in our cars, is recorded. You have to be held, accountable for your actions. But I know city departments, all that stuff, they all have body cams. So I'd say less now, because back in the 80s and stuff, there's no videos. So
No accountability.
No accountability. So that's that. I would say that.
So what made you want to be a state trooper?
Give back to the community, but also fight crime at the same time.
So let me ask you a question. Someone that's watching us right now, we see a lot of people that don't want to be cops anymore because of all the bullshit that's going on out there. What would you tell someone that wants to become a police officer, but they're scared because of all the nonsense out there?
First thing is you're gonna have thick skin, and going off that, you're gonna have to develop a way to interact with people and give a positive image to law enforcement, because there's a lot of people that interact with officers, and maybe the officer's having a bad day, and it's the only interaction they have throughout their whole life experience, and that's what they know. So when I engage with the public, make sure it's a positive experience, and that's how I could say, if you want to go in that law enforcement occupation, that you would have to go that route to make sure every interaction you have with the public is a positive one.
Do you think there's still a lot of crooked cops out there, or do you feel like it's a little bit less now?
I can only speak from my coworkers in my department. No, because everything nowadays is on video camera. Everyone has a cell phone, so everything you do, especially with us, we have video cameras in our cars, is recorded. You have to be held, accountable for your actions. But I know city departments, all that stuff, they all have body cams. So I'd say less now, because back in the 80s and stuff, there's no videos. So
No accountability.
No accountability. So that's that. I would say that.
Do you believe in more socialism or more capitalism?
That's a good question. I really don't know.
And be honest.
I don't really know the answer. I feel like we're so far from kind of like what we should be doing and who we are as humanity. And I feel like, especially living in Miami or in the US, we're very capitalistic, and it works. I mean, it definitely works, but it's just very hard, especially when we're kind of trashing the planet that we're on. Socialism, in the sense, like written down and what it stands for, I guess it makes sense, but in practice, people are so different, and you can't really change a society that's already been working the way it's been working.
No, it makes sense. So let me ask you this. If you had a chance to live in, let's say, Venezuela, where there's communism and socialism, or you had a chance to live in a country like America, which one would you choose if you could start fresh?
So I used to live in Egypt, and I've lived all over the world growing up. I've lived in Bangladesh, that's like the tiny country next to India, very poverty-stricken countries, as well as like developing nations, and there's so much quality of life over there. Like, I'm so much more happier. I can go to sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up in like 4 or 5 hours, and I have so much energy because everyone's happy, everyone's talking to you. I feel like I would definitely choose a more of like a developing country rather than like here. I'm very grateful and I have a good life, thanks God. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like there's definitely something better that's out there.
You have 100 employees?
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. So how did you get to 0 to 100 employees?
Started from scratch. I mean, just from ground up.
So when you start in the beginning, how did you know that eventually you're going to get to one point where you're going to have 100 employees?
Oh, because I worked my ass off.
Someone that wants to be an entrepreneur, should they do it or not?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's the way to go, man. That's what this country's about.
Elaborate.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I got a friend. His dad was an immigrant, came here with didn't know English, started working at a Taco Bell, and said, you know, I'm gonna have my own one day, and he's got like 10 of them now.
Wow.
So I was the same way. I worked for a company for 10 years and said one of these days I'm gonna have my own company, and I did. So I would say, yeah.
That's amazing. So do you think that immigrants that come from other countries have a higher success rate versus Americans that were born here?
I think so.
Why?
Because they got something they got to work for. A lot of people here just get stuff given to them. So,
You don't believe in entitlement mentality.
what?
You don't believe in the entitlement mentality.
I mean, some people have that, but no. I think you need to work for it.
Why do so many young people have that?
It's
Like they
just-
want that shit now and they're just entitled to it. Like what's going on in this generation, in your opinion?
I think it's just because America, it gives so much away, the government. I mean, you know, you don't have food. I'll give you an example. Like if you go to Latin America and you're on, there is no welfare. You got to work. You got to go out and clean windows or do whatever you got to do to eat. In the U.S., you just say, I ain't working. They give you money, they give you cell phones, they give you, and so when an immigrant comes here, they got that mentality of working working hard for you, earning what you get.
Right now we have amazing questions and amazing answers. So listen, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do me a solid, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like, comment. If you want us to ask some more questions, let us know. But we got some more people to talk to. Let's go.
I'm a dancer.
You're a dancer. So how long you been dancing for?
A few years
And what's the number one thing you learned about being a dancer?
to keep twerking that ass.
Do you want to have children though one day?
Like, okay, this is how I feel. I think kids are cute, but I feel like that's not a good enough reason to have a kid just because they're cute, because dogs are cute too.
So you'd rather have a dog than a son?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying I feel like I need to have like a deeper reason than just the kid. Like if I see a baby that's cute, I need to have a deeper reason than just the kid's cute. Because I feel like a lot of people have children for selfish reasons. Like they'll see children and be like, that kid's cute. Let me have a child just for like, to parade it around for my own selfish benefit when really I'm not really equipped to have children. And then I end up like being a terrible parent. I mean, I think I'd be a great parent just because I have that philosophy, but a lot of people don't.
So let me ask you this, and if you don't mind me asking to get a little deeper, so no pun intended. When you grew up, was your father around, was your mother around, or not really?
Next question.
Okay, that answers the question. If you went through childhood trauma, okay, and you've been through tough times, would you recommend someone to go into the same industry as you're in?
I would think that you should go in the industry I'm in if you want to go into it, whether you have a great childhood or not. I think that you should just go into it just because if you wake up and you realize that you don't want to keep going to law school and you grew up in a white picket fence in a gated community and had everything given to you, Matilda, and you realize that you still want to go on Bang Bros, do it.
Why should I hire someone that's an American versus hiring someone in India for a third of the price or 1/4 of the price?
I mean, there's actually not much difference. The thing is, with Indians, it's like we work a lot for lesser pay. I think that's one of the big criterias why we get hired a lot more, and we do not complain or whine when we are given work to do. We are like, oh, thank you for the work. We appreciate the work when we are given. So that's something.
So give us a couple of things that are different from an American person that works in the workforce versus an Indian that works in the workforce.
With Americans, there's more of an entitlement that they have to make a certain amount of money. Meanwhile, they're okay staying on the bench or without any work for like 6 months, 8 months, just because they're not getting the right amount. Meanwhile, for Indians, it's like, okay, we just want to make money. We don't care how much money we are making. We just want to make some money.
So in the Indian culture, it's all about the hustle.
Yeah, we hustle a lot. But the thing is, with Indians, it's like you don't see a lot of people in leadership positions. Yes, of course, there's Microsoft and there's of course Google with the CEOs as Indians. But typically in like lower level positions as well, there's more software developers than like managers as Indians.
Why is that?
It's just that we try to keep things stable rather than taking risks. So we try to keep stay somewhere. It's like a stable job. That's it. That's all we care about. We try to get married, and then we have like 2 kids, and that's it. Like that's
Gotcha.
everyone what Indians do.
So Indians don't like to take the risk, basically.
Yeah, they don't. They try to play it safe.
They're very risk averse.
Yes, exactly.
And what made you want to get into sales?
Well, I mean, if you could sell yourself, you could sell anything, right? I mean, that's probably the whole game.
Is using your gut and your instinct extremely important in sales?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And how do you build in that gut instinct?
Well, I mean, it takes experience, you know. So as long as you approach it the right way, I think it all depends. It really all depends. I mean, if the more sales you do, the more gut feelings you'll have as well.
So for someone that's starting out, they're brand new, how do they build in that instinct? How do they get that gut feeling experience?
Practice makes perfect, baby.
Say it again?
Practice makes perfect.
Well, what if they keep practicing and keep failing and not getting the right results? Like, isn't that like, how does that?
Sales is not for them then.
How long you guys been together?
6 years.
What do you think destroys relationships outside of cheating and not having the right communication?
Couples have to learn to be happy. They have to engage into the happiness. When they get together and start getting older, their only concern is about working for responsibility, paying bills. I got to do this, I got to do that, I have to work, I have to study. And the last thing they do is work on their happiness. They don't work and be happy. And if you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy with your partner. You must learn to cultivate your happiness yourself. Because you're happy, we'll be happy.
So let me ask you a question. Let's say you cultivate happiness, but she's not happy on her own.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work. If she's angry, she's upset, she's not happy, and I am not. It's water and oil. It's not going to mix ever. And I really believe the most you work in your happiness, the more success you have in everything, your relationship, your business, your health, and everything. So that's so important.
Listen, we had an amazing time today shooting content, asking questions, getting amazing answers, and so far we've been having amazing reviews from you guys. So do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We need your support. We're trying to get to 100,000 plus subscribers right now. We're doing amazing on Instagram and TikTok, but for some reason on YouTube, we need your support, we need your help. So until next time, see you guys in the next video.